Y'all
Yeah,
never
well, you
heard
live.
that song?
No, you live in Tech. I still live within 100 miles of NYC. So
Yeah, bro. But but think about it, right? He a country singer, black country singer, right? And he's saying the things, you know.
yeah, no,
How
the song
many
lyrics.
how many men feel like that, you know? Like, and I think that if you don't have people to take care of or people you're responsible for, like people think you're just talking, you know? Like, and I if I just speak for myself, I could legit say there's so many things that like people don't even say thank you for, right? They literally just expect them to happen. They expect them to do things, you know? Like they expect things to just manifest, you know?
When you say people to take care of, you mean directly, or what about like that s- lifetime, the career bachelor that does 30 plus years in the military or on an oil rig?
Hmm? What you mean? Say it again?
Well, when you said that if you don't have someone to take care of, right, then you kind of unqualified. I'm saying, does that mean
Not
directly?
not unqualified, right? But just when you have people that seemingly depend on you and expect for things to happen or expect you to respect them or not respect them, protect them and all these other things, right? And provide and make sure everybody's good. And when these drastic things happen, it's like a lot of stuff that we actually do on a consistent basis are taken for granted, you know? Like I hope that my kids never stop saying, and the kids kind of don't, right? But when people stop saying thank you, I always like I notice that,
Hmm.
you know? Like even myself, if my wife make my plate, I just grab the plate and go sit down, right? And I try to do a job of going back and saying thank you,
Hmm.
you know, or saying thank you in the moment. And we take like so much shit for granted, you know. And I just and then when we look at the manifestation of what he was articulating as a man and looking at those different brothers. So when I first moved to Texas, right, my job, the people that moved me here, the company closed. I'm not from here at all. It closed a month within me being here, right? Got this house and all this other stuff, right? And so now we trying to figure it out. Do I start a company? Is it YouTube, my DJing, you know? And we don't have as much paper, like we don't lay out bills and shit. But there's times where I sat at the kitchen table with all the lights off, trying to say, okay, what do we do next, right? Because you got money saved and all this other shit, but how long does it last?
Hmm.
And I don't know if my wife understood it the same way, you know, but you have those moments. So when I'm watching that video, I'm like, I could see myself in different places, you know. What y'all think?
No,
Well,
I think that's. Well, go ahead, fantastic.
well, no, I was gonna say I think you hit one of the major parts. So I think while we come to this thing, men don't feel appreciated. You feel me? And the amount of work you put in, it's an expectation and it's no appreciation for it. You feel me? You work that motherfucking job for 20 years, 30 years, and then you get blamed on the back end for not being there. Well, hey, you remember all them trips you took, and you remember all them amusement parks, and all them good Christmases and birthdays, and the pair of shoes you wanted, and the fresh clothes, and all this other shit. I was making you happy, but now you gonna penalize me and say that I wasn't there for you. In the meantime, between time, another big thing, and it keeps coming back around to the military aspect of it because this I think people don't, that's another dynamic. It's extremely rare. I think it's what less than 1% of the population are in the military, so people don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, you ain't got. If I get deployed, I gotta go. I can't say no. Not only can I can't say no, get fired. Your ass will get locked up before you get fired. You feel me? They gonna sit my ass down in a motherfucking brig for a little minute. You feel me? So it's a lot of this stuff as to where men are penalized for their absence and for their hard work, while you benefit from it. And then, like you said, you never hear thank you. It's times where I have to be like, you welcome. You have to tell your kids that, like, yo, this, I put pain in for this shit. It's time, blood, sweat, tears, money, all this other stuff. Hamp, we love this one. Motherfucker, you know how many pair of shoes I had as a kid? I was lucky to get 2.
Real
Definitely
shit.
finna say motherfucking thank you. You hear me?
Yeah, man. No, real shit. And we just keep it tall, right? Because I think this type of topic, right? You just gotta. I think the anecdotal is kind of because we have to speculate when people in their lives, right?
Yeah.
To Aaron's initial point, like that happened to me for so long because I used to work so much, especially in DC because I DJ whenever I felt like it, right? Especially when we had a specific goal, and then it's like, you didn't help me change any diapers, you wasn't here, you always working, and then we have a goal to achieve. And I'm just like, how you think everybody eating steak in this motherfucker? You know?
Literally don't see it.
Now it's like, what does it all mean? Like, are we looking for a handout, or should I just accept it and move on?
Well, no, I think like with anything, right? So let's just look at
Mhm.
work in itself, right? You get a return for your work by your pay.
Mhm.
Hey, it's an understood thing before you go there. I'm gonna get this job, this assignment, this contract, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
At the end of the job being done, I receive my payment, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So from a social aspect, it should be the same thing. If I do something nice for you, and the crazy part about it is it when it comes to the emotionality side, this is why I say men are so dehumanized, black men specifically. Men aren't due emotional payment like women are. It's her time of the month, so she's more aggravated. You gotta tiptoe. You gotta be on eggshells. You gotta be considerate because hey, for 7 days, her hormones are high. Okay, well, damn, your hormones is high, and you still, what I'm saying, you ain't got to pay the majority of the bills. You ain't got to figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, some shit didn't fuck up, and now, like you said, this house shit in itself, the motherfucking AC didn't go out. Now you know what I'm saying? Now we a whole motherfucking $1,500 out of pocket that I wasn't expecting, even with savings. You feel what I'm saying, or whatever you got saying. Now that's a huge major expense not expected. Now I got to figure out a way to, what I mean, parkour this shit. But and all you got to do is sit back and, hey, what you gonna do? you feel
Mhm.
it? They
Mhm.
don't even understand the luxury of that. Kids or women don't understand the luxury of, you got it.
Dude, let me ask you a question, both of you guys. So they don't understand by being enabled, right? Essentially, right? Because everything, women's conduct, children's conduct, men either push it, allow it, protect it. Did we put ourselves in this system? Only the strong survive, and we leverage penalty among on each other way harsher than we do women and children.
Oh yeah,
You know, so like, did we put ourselves in this system and then
yeah. We
look at?
definitely help build a yeah. We definitely help build a building or make the bed, if you want to say that. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that at all. But I think
Mhm.
what's happening is, as we progress and we understand, bro, that shit it's to a degree where it don't work. You have to be tough. You have to be a man. You got to do this, but there's balance. And I think it's been way too much, a lack of balance in masculinity. And this is what we're discovering in real time. This is why everybody's calling, oh, you being feminine and you being this. No, I'm being human. Okay, figure it out, nigga. Make it work. Make it happen, nigga. Is having dudes stressed the fuck out and hating life and not having no happiness. Hell, I heard this shit on here, bro.
Mhm.
Nigga said, you ain't supposed to be happy as no man. I say, what? Nigga, nigga, you a man. You ain't supposed to be happy. Nigga, what?
Yeah, that sucks.
That's what I'm saying. And so literally, and from that point, that helped like me the whole, and then too. So you brought up another good point, right, bro? The average life expectancy of a black man now is like maybe 70 years, is like 69 or 70, right? You're
Mhm.
halfway done with living, bro. Statistically, at 35. most people work till you 60, whatever, right? What's the retirement age now? 62 and a half or 65 and a half, whatever the fuck it is.
5 and a half, I think.
So if it's 65 and a half, that means, my nigga, you get a good 3.5 years of life to enjoy.
That's crazy when you put it like that.
Well, we gotta adjust those numbers. No, wait. I can't let that fly. We gotta adjust those numbers. Life starts at 20. You can't go 0 to 80 and then 40 is your midway mark. No, because the first 20 years you was enjoying life as a child, just like the women. You were the taker, right? That victimized the men. So life for men starts at 20. It's 20 to 60.
Yeah, but I'm not speaking
or 20 to 80, and then the midpoint is what it is.
Well, no. I'm not talking man
or 50.
I'm talking life, my nigga.
But the conversation is around manhood, though, right?
Yeah.
So if we talk about what deteriorates a man's mindset and a lack of appreciation, right? Who's responsible for taking, this man's productivity results in resources, and there's an entity out there that's taking them without any kind of appreciation. We would say that it's even in the dog, the women, the children, and the dogs. The children doesn't have a sex attached to it. So we were all guilty of being a taker at some point, and that's from 0 to 20.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? Like the 0 to 20 years, unless you want to talk about the stress of having to deal with asshole and degenerate years of ours, there's no stress. That was fun times.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that though, Aaron.
Right? So we got to start the clock of real shit.
Yeah, you're just saying when manhood starts.
Right. Yeah. That's so you can't go from 0 to 70 means 35 is your halfway point. No, it's 20 to 70.
All right, so but Aaron, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. You're right in what you're talking about. I'm talking about the totality of life. The totality of life, you're halfway there.
Yeah, well, all right, but if you include the totality of life, then you got to sort of mitigate the effect of stress by the good times felt between 0 and 20 then.
Yeah, but
there has to be a softening effect of the first half that accounts for the inability to live a soft life on the back half.
Yeah, and I'm not
all up front.
Yeah, I'm not discounting any of that either. But what I'm saying though, regardless of whether you had a
the half-life is still 35.
Half-life is what it's going to be regardless.
Numerically, yeah, but that doesn't mean that the end of it, we get to complain about only having 3 years of a good time. Your first 20 was a good time.
Mm-hmm. Well, but the beginning be then different from the end, though, right? He's saying you retired, then you die.
Yeah, within 3 years.
What I'm saying, you'll have a stronger argument if you chop off the first 20 years.
Oh, well, but I heard when he said it initially, it resonated, But to your point, right? We're making an assumption. Now, retirement
as a reward is in the wake of a job well done, or as a reward for productivity.
Understood. Now, here's the problem. Childhood itself. Because what is this, right? That gets the man to a point. Mr. Fantastic, even you said, how long was he bearing this? How long was he fighting this? How long did he have to suffer through whatever it is that's being articulated? And then he finally gets to the point where he wants to commit suicide, right? Childhood can't be ruled out, right?
Yeah,
because what happens to that man? When does it start? When does the systemic oppressions? When does watch this when I get a chance on Netflix? It's called Anonymous. It's a little show that just came out where they using like Andrew Tate and saying different manosphere talking points and etc. And these little boys are going through different thought processes, dealing with women, dealing with stress. I'm not big and strong enough to play football. They won't, you know what I mean? Like there's so many things that go into it.
Right. So, I agree. But that's a different conversation. That has everything to do with parenting. So I'd hold them accountable.
Is it a different conversation? Oh shit.
Oh yeah, it is 100%.
I don't know, because salute to Jonathan Majors directly, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let's rewind it, right? Because how do we get like this? Men can't be victims, right? So the assumption about childhood is what, though?
that you're not a man, and the victimization of a child is different from the victimization of a man. That's what I'm saying. They're two different conversations.
Except for this. Go ahead, Mr. Fantastic. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was gonna say, and that's the point, right? So whatever trauma and stuff you experience in your childhood shapes you as a man or affects you as a man, as a person, completely and totally. And I wouldn't argue it at all, by any means, Aaron, that most kids go through at least reasonable childhood. You know, it may not, the top of the top of the top, or bottom of the bottom. I think most people are in the middle. But for a lot of these situations where we're talking about points to where people are thinking about, the ultimate, take it there, right? Get rid of themselves. A lot of this stuff does start in their childhood. And even though you're correct as to where it's the parents' responsibility to ensure that their children are as well off as they can be from a physical and mental standpoint, how many parents are actually equipped to notice that their kids need that help? You feel me? And I think that's why we're so out of whack now, because most you'll be all right, or you're just this and you're just that, and most people this whole, even mental health in itself, man, this is a recent thing.
I think you're misinterpreting what I was getting at. The conversation you initially were having as it relates to retirement. You said that you only get 3 years of retirement. I was sticking within the constraints of that conversation alone, is when I
Okay.
said start the clock at 20. Everything you're saying is right. Life is different from productive life. And the conversation you were having when you introduced retirement and being able to only have 3 years to enjoy retirement is as it relates to productive life. This is a whole different conversation. What you're saying?
Yeah. So now, and like I said, I agree with you there from the responsibility aspect as a man. 18
That's
to
all
20,
I was saying. Yeah.
Exactly. No, I was agreeing with you. I'm not disputing that at all.
That's
Still,
but that's
still,
no.
yeah.
But Mr.
Just
Fantastic,
right there, right?
Go ahead.
You that from if we go from 20 to
But,
60,
okay,
that's
wait.
80% of your life.
You don't have to though. But but I can't concede the argument, because as young boys, right, you have that level of stress. Do you have sisters?
No, I don't, but I played football.
Do you have sisters? Do you have little siblings? What always is said to you? Make sure everybody good. If your brother get in trouble, if something happened to your brother, you gonna get a whooping too. Don't let nobody bother your sister. Big Chill gotta hold the door for everybody, right? See, you learning how to be a man on the onset.
Right. But
And
that,
we
yeah,
have
so
different
training,
stressors.
right. What you're speaking of is training. And so I look at the military. There's a difference between boot camp and a deployment.
Yeah.
The stress level and it's a whole. Yeah, I mean, training accounts for some of it. You can get PTSD for training, but it's nothing like a firefight for 13 months. That's a different. A man's life. In order for a man to be productive, he has to be trained. How else? That's an acceptable loss. That stress is an acceptable loss due to the training necessary to be a productive man.
100%. We're saying productive, right? But men are being trained up this way, and then look at what the stressors are causing, right? Men can't even be victims, right? Men are killing themselves. Men are dying earlier by 7-8 years. And when does this start? Does it start in the onset of the training, right? Because
Yes.
like Sugar Wugga can't cry as much as his sisters, period. Right? Does it start there? And what is the manifestation?
Yes. The stress starts there, but you don't earn your final accolade until you actually become productive. What I'm saying is, you can be the best raised man in the world, and then if you don't do shit through life, you're retired. I'm sorry, you don't get the accolade of some grandiose retirement. I don't care how much school you went to, how much etiquette you have. If you've never had to uh, uh, been required to apply it and pay it forward to another group of people, like you said earlier, people that are actually dependent on you for survival, family, professionally. If you haven't put that training to use, then I'm sorry, you don't get retirement pay if you haven't served for 30 years. We've all been to boot camp.
But you know what, Aaron? I'm glad you said that. Aaron, how many, even when you get the retirement, how many of them are grandiose?
Well, no, they're not, and now that's another conversation, and that is a problem.
No, that's what
That is a
that's what
problem.
I'm
The
saying.
lack of appreciation is there.
This is and like I said, but this is why real time conversation needs to be had. So even in that case, Aaron, like you said, Aaron, everybody that I seen retire a man wise, guess who who threw the party?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Father's Day. Right. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I gotta put the motherfucking Grill Master 4s on, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
to make sure everybody steak it the way they want
feed
it.
everybody, right?
Yeah.
For Father's Day. No, but see,
saying.
that's the conversation I don't want to water down, though. That's what I don't want to do. Forget about you had to learn how to make a steak, nigga. Come on. But Father's Day is really where we need to place the accolade right where it belongs. You're exactly right. That's exactly my point.
What?
You don't get credit for training.
I don't know, man.
Score a touchdown. That's where you get your trophy.
There's so many. I don't know. When you have a team dynamic, you need people at practice. You need the guys at practice to make sure you at your top notch for the game. Fight camp is uberly important. Yes, right? Because you're saying that they're training, but training is stressful. Especially because the child, see, here's the thing. We know it's training as grown-ups. The child doesn't know it's training. Sugar Wooger don't know he's training to be a man. He just doing the things that he think he's supposed to do. And those things can be stressful.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like for us in hindsight, yeah, we saying I'm teaching him this so he can be successful. For him, this is the end all to what he got going on. If he don't do this, he failed. You see the difference? If he don't succeed in protecting his sisters, if he don't open the door for all his sisters, he failed.
Okay, and you don't think he's earning his keep?
What? Fine, but we're looking at men can't be victims in the rearing of such.
So let me try to make the two ends meet in the middle. So I don't think it's not about him earning his keep or the reward aspect, Aaron, as much as it's like he's like I said, he's in training he doesn't even understand, because he's a child and he doesn't understand how the world works. So from a home standpoint, right? You got the standard of your home to where, hey, look out for your sisters. This is what men do. You watching your dad is there too, because we emulate, right? But then once you get out in society, it's going to be nuances and things there too, to where you're going to understand that a man is expected to do different things than girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that and what's crazy, especially being with us coming from the era we came from. As a kid, you don't even look at it as a stressor. You don't even look at it as training or any of these things, because you're just a kid, right? Hey, take that trash out, boy. Wash some dishes. Fold them clothes. Do all this shit. All this order and discipline is just something that, you're raised up in. But like you said, even like we go to boot camp, right? Just to make that analogy, that it's not about folding the drawers. You know what I'm saying? It's not about motherfucking making sure the fucking zipper is down once you zip the shit all the way up. It's like it's repetition, right? And it's building up. You know what I mean? That the understanding of getting it right the first time, so you don't have to redo it. And brilliance at the basics, to where it may seem like it don't matter, but it carries over to like what Hamp say all the time. The way you do one thing is how you do everything, type shit.
Muscle memory. I got you.
Stress. Even more so, like you say, when you're when you actually do have the expectations. You feel me? A kid that's got a parent that don't give a fuck or don't care, they got it easy. But the parent, the dude that's growing up, and the girls too, right? The children that are growing up with fathers and mothers that, hey, have standards and requirements and things. You're not gonna bring nothing less than a B in this house or less than an A. That's the standard we set. Yeah, that's a lot of stress, man.
Yeah,
no, I understand. So you're gonna maybe I'm going divergent, but I'm trying to figure out how does this fit into the conversation of victimization of men.
Well, not victimization as much as men can't be victims, right? So I'm just looking at the rearing and the structure and what's acceptable, and the rearing goes beyond that. Think about this one. What they say when you go to the church, the little boy who they say is cute or handsome. How many girlfriends he gonna have?
All of them.
Make sure I hit the like button if you can. That helps the channel the most.
The ex-girlfriend of former Marvel actor Jonathan Majors is asking to drop a lawsuit accusing him of assault and defamation. Grace Jabari launched the civil suit in March of 2023 following a series of alleged events that took place during the couple's nearly 2-year relationship. Jabari is a British dancer who met Majors on the set of Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania back in 2021.
It means the world that I'm able to continue building the life.
Jonathan Majors is going to be a married man. The Marvel actor who was found guilty last year of assaulting his ex announced his engagement to Megan Good. The couple posed
I think it was just an ad
at the Ebony Power 100 gala where Megan flashed her diamond ring.
I think
She
it was an intro.
explained
I
to
think this is
E! News
it.
why they chose to share the milestone with the public at the event.
Ebony Power 100 is the
No, it's good. Hold on.
There's some. I think niggas.
It's a weird website. So, see, I want to see how did they release it. Can you see this? Can you read this real quick? I want to see if I can find the actual.
So I have it. I have it put up on mine.
Go ahead.
What the fuck did it read? It moved around. Hold on. Here we go. So where he talks about it.
I'm sitting here reading. You want me to read this piece while he's looking for that?
Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah, Jonathan Majors revealed in a new interview that he was the victim of sexual abuse from both men and women, quote unquote, from the age of 9. The 35-year-old actor was considered one of Hollywood's fastest rising stars prior to his December 2023 conviction for assaulting and harassing his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari. In April of 2024, he was sentenced to a year in prison, or to a year in an in-person batterer intervention program in Los Angeles, California. Several of his major film projects were also canceled, with Marvel moving away from positioning his character, Kang, as their next antagonist and renaming 2026's Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, to Avengers Doomsday.
See, I want to hear it, man. Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, it's they don't. From what I've seen, it's
I felt like it was time. There's something about sitting here right now and looking at you and understanding the gravity of the situation, a situation that I, in many ways, put myself in.
He was one of the most promising actors of his generation.
Today, a verdict in the case of Jonathan Majors.
Now, Jonathan Majors has been convicted of a misdemeanor assault and harassing his ex-girlfriend in a stunning trial that brought his soaring career to a screeching halt. There were 4 charges. The jury convicted you of 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Your reaction to that verdict?
Shock. I was absolutely shocked. I know I did not, place my hands and strike that woman. It never happened.
Last March, he was celebrating back-to-back box office hits, Creed 3 and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
I am Kang!
By his side, his girlfriend, Grace Jabari, a dancer he'd met on the set of Ant-Man in 2021.
I love Grace. Our relationship was not healthy, and that began to reveal itself over time.
Just weeks after the Creed 3 premiere, in the early morning hours of March 25th, Majors and Jabari got into an altercation in New York City that has haunted his public image. Both say the fight began with a flirtatious text message that appeared on Majors' phone from another woman while the couple was riding home from dinner in this chauffeured Escalade. Jabari told the jury she saw a message pop up on his phone that said, "Oh, how I wish I was kissing you." So let's go back to March.
How the fuck? This shit boggles my mind. They got the tape and all that, right? And he running and he get a text message on his phone, right? That's what it said, right?
Yeah.
So why would he be mad about he got the text message? He didn't see a text message on her phone.
Well, did she find out about the text, and what was her response to it?
She was looking over his shoulder. It was sitting next to each other in the truck.
All right, so now she knows about it, and what was her response?
She started grabbing him. He had the nigga ran out the car. He
25th for a moment.
There it is.
She sees a text from another woman. Things seem to spiral from there. Yeah. What happened next?
Yeah, the text from another woman. The issue in the car would not have happened had I been brave and ended the relationship. I cop to it. I show her, right? It's in my hand. She grabs it. We spoke before the phone.
Jabari testified she grabbed the phone, and then I felt a heavy thud on top of me, what I knew to be the weight of him on top of me, and him trying to pry the phone out of my fingers. In the criminal complaint, she alleged Majors struck her in the face with an open hand, causing substantial pain and a laceration behind her ear. That Majors grabbed her hand, causing swelling, bruising, and substantial pain to her finger, and that he put his hand on her neck, causing bruising. But Majors claims Jabari attacked him in a jealous rage, ripping his coat, scratching his face and his arm. Photos he took and says are of his injuries were shared with Impact, yet were deemed inadmissible in court.
I pulled the phone back. I received my injuries. I'm calm. I'm busted. She's not calm. There was alcohol involved.
Both of you?
I had some drinks as well, yeah.
She says inside the car, you hit her in the face,
Yeah.
twist her arm behind her back, fracture her middle finger.
Yeah, that did not happen.
So she ends up with a 1-inch cut behind her ear.
Laceration, yes, ma'am.
Fractured finger.
Yeah.
How did those injuries come about?
I wish to God I knew. That would give clarity. That would give me some type of peace about it.
But you're confident you didn't
I
cause
have no
them.
question.
In a statement to Impact, Jabari's lawyer said, "It is not at all surprising that Mr. Majors continues to take no accountability for his actions. Ms. Jabari will continue to speak the truth and seek justice in the appropriate forums in a continued effort to respect our legal process." What happens next becomes a heated point in court.
I open the door, I step out. She comes. Then one of the biggest mistakes of my life. I pick her up. I put her back in the car. I'm trying to get rid of her. I'm trying to get away from her. As the video shows, second biggest mistake of my life. I try to keep her in the car. We get out, we walk across the street. I escort her across the street. The moment we get across the street, she grabs me. She goes for the phone. I get free of her and I run.
What made you run?
Fear.
Of what she might do?
No, not what she might do. Well, I just got smacked up, for one. It was an animal impulse. Save yourself. Get away from this. And that's what I went to do.
After the incident, Major spent the night at a hotel. Security footage shows Jabari out at a nightclub with 3 strangers before she returns to the apartment she shared with Majors.
How does he get convicted of this shit?
Niggas, man.
This don't make no fucking sense.
Well, I see where her injuries may have come from. And all right, you as a mover, you ever try and shove something in a door and peel off the side of it, like the box or something? Like he might have been shoving her through the door and that ear, right? Who knows? And I'm not saying that he's guilty of it. I'm just looking at the situation. And he even says the worst mistake of his life, and I agree. No, not right now. Once he was out of the car, that Usain Bolt shit that he did should have been what he did initially, right? Putting her back in the whip is her issue. I'm just saying, and her trying to get out of the car. Once again, you've jammed a finger. Who knows? But did he assault her? No. I think he made a very bad mistake, and I can see where the injuries came from in that mistake. But yeah, he definitely, I would say, victim though, for sure.
Somebody playing something?
No. You hear something?
Y'all can't hear that?
No.
Nothing.
After Majors came home that morning.
Yo, so is this a part of the men can't be victims?
Yeah, obviously. This is the
I think so.
Epitome of it. It's the precedent. You have a grown man running from a woman that's chasing him. Hamp.
Yeah.
This nigga running in Hamp. He running in church shoes.
This shit is
even what I'm saying, even what I'm asserting, to think that his judgment should be so clear to avoid that would be victimized. Would be to suggest men can't be victims. He even said he was operating on animal instinct. So I'm just identifying a thing. I'm not placing judgment, blame, or even value to anything. You know what I mean?
that shit. All right, hold on. Let's see what dispatch.
No, I don't know. She's unconscious. She's naked from the bottom down. She has a sweatshirt on. She's my ex-partner. We broke up.
Body camera footage from the officers who arrived at their apartment shows Majors covering Jabari with a blanket and then bringing police to their bedroom suite closet where she was lying on the floor. Officers noticed marks on her body, and pictures presented at trial show Jabari's fractured finger and a laceration behind her ear. Majors was arrested and charged with assault and harassment and was released on his own recognizance. part of Majors and his team's defense when it comes to both his innocence in this case and prior exchanges is alleged racial bias. Majors had filed his own incident report with the NYPD in June, formally and repeatedly accusing Jabari of attacking him. The Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, declined to prosecute Jabari, telling Impact it lacked.
So what's our takeaway from this? Don't mess with white women?
When shit gets goofy, hit the jets.
Don't mess with fucking insane bitches, period. White, black, Asian,
ankles.
fat, short, tall, whatever. It's like don't deal with problematic hoes, man.
Well, but even more so, right? And I was kind of joking, right? Well, I'm not joking, but
sis going ham in that fucking chat. 1,000 niggas get the police called on them every day, B, from black women. We're not finna start this today, but go ahead, bro.
I think the crux of the matter is, right, the fact that because he put her back in the car, he's literally running down the street. She chasing him, right? He's not with her. When he goes back to his apartment, she there butt ass or have a sweatshirt on, whatever the case is, right? She was with 3 strangers at the bar. They made sure to emphasize that shit, right? But this is a problem. And I want the ladies who are in the chat to understand. Stop thinking about the niggas that you argue with on the panel. Start thinking about your nephews and sons. Maybe that'll help you understand what we're trying to understand, right? Men can't be victims. If that's your baby out there, when he a grown up and he dealing with a woman, right, who just doing what you saw, and he said, "Yo, here, get your ass back in the car." Then she chased him across, and he even, cause she's saucy, so the traffic coming, he got her by the hand, kind of like, and then she starts swinging on him, and he bounced. Think about your kids. Stop thinking about the niggas that you argue with every day.
Yeah, they the same. All niggas are the same, man. Like I said, I told you the dehumanization of black men, bro, is people don't even understand or realize it. They see you when they say niggas, it's everybody, brother, sister, daddy. I mean, brother, daddy, uncle, cousin, whatever. If you got a dick, bro, it applies to you. And they don't differentiate, bro. They can't separate the two.
Well, I think they have to understand it, man, because this situation is specific. I hear what you're saying, but I just think they have to understand this more thoroughly. Look at the fucking situation. The man got convicted. And I don't know if y'all understand what happens to these actors when that happens. Their careers literally plummet. And
he lost hundreds of millions of dollars.
The fact that he was in the Marvel, and then he was doing A Man in the Basement, I think it's called, or something like that. But huge like remake films and shit, you know?
Oh yeah. A branding monolith changed their branding strategy mid-stride. That's craziness. And
then the thing about it is, right? How many black men do they pick at once?
2? On top of that, there you go.
Right? Like you got to move Denzel, right? Denzel is Denzel, right? But who's right there? Denzel's son, right? He gets a decent amount of movies, and that's obviously nepotism. He's okay, you know what I'm saying? But this dude, Jonathan Majors, you know, he was right there.
And like you say, he had finally got his payoff because Jonathan Majors been an actor for forever. He's been an actor for a long ass time. It's just that he finally started getting you know what I mean, getting recognized and getting the roles, the important roles, the high paying roles, like you said.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That Marvel shit is transcendent, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody from anywhere gonna see you. You know? Yep. And even Ant-Man is like one of the more niche ones, if anything. But still, people like Ant-Man because it has that comic relief to it.
Yeah.
So it's deeper than that, right? So they and Aaron alluded to it. Marvel had to change the entire. I think this is going to be what phase 5 or whatever next phase is going to be, because Kang was supposed to be the major villain, the big bad to replace Thanos.
Right.
Being that this happened, now this is why they changed. It's Dr. Doom and Robert Downey Jr. coming back, which again, look at how that happened. And I don't think people
can't be Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is DC, right?
No, Dr. Doom is Marvel, brother. Stop it.
He is?
Leave it to the nerd niggas. Yes.
Oh, I thought he was just fighting the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Fantastic Four is Marvel. Fantastic Marvel. The first comic for fucking Marvel is
Are you thinking
Fantastic
Dr.
Four.
Manhattan? Wasn't he DC?
Dr. Manhattan is DC. Yeah, the blue one.
Manhattan.
Wait, he wasn't thinking about nothing. This nigga don't know about no comic books.
I seen Dr. Manhattan before.
What's the fucking what comic? What's the name
He
of the comic?
married to the girl that can do a bunch of shit, that red shit. Her brother was fast and he died.
It's the
Watchmen. No,
Exactly.
he's still talking about Marvel. No, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's the Watchmen is Manhattan.
Yeah, the Watchmen is fucking Dr. Manhattan. I told you, this nigga don't know about no comic books. Let's move on. Stop it.
I only know the difference because I'm a Batman fan versus Superman. So it makes me DC. That's the only reason why.
This nigga Dr. Manhattan got a diamond in the middle of his head. He corny.
Not a diamond. No. The diamond in the middle of the head would be Adam Warlock, sir.
No,
diamond in the middle of the head is Adam
this
Warlock.
Girl, listen to me. Trust me.
No, or Vision. You're talking about Vision, and that's Scarlet Witch. You said they're in the red. The witch. That's Marvel, sir. So you're talking about Vision. Okay, and the red woman is Scarlet Witch, which is also Marvel.
I'm still mad. Hawkeye ain't died. He ain't got no superpowers. Go ahead.
But anyway, yeah. So that was a major thing. Like I said, multi-million.
Oh,
$1
you talking about the dumbass DC shit where the nigga got thrown out the window in the beginning of the movie, and then the one nigga got that mask on that keeps moving around.
That's
Rorschach. Watchmen. Exactly. Yeah, Dr. Rorschach. Yeah, Rorschach.
Oh,
that's
Watchmen. That's
all
Dr. Manhattan. Watchmen. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And that shit on his head is an atom diagram because Dr. Manhattan Project, the ability to manipulate atoms. This ain't the Bible.
My bad. Let me hush. My fault.
Yeah, that was good. I like it.
Damn, man. So okay, damn. I just feel this one has to. I mean, this shit it's on his face. Pause. Right.
Yeah.
This is a plain. Like this is not hard to argue, in my opinion. Hold on.
I mean, I've seen dumb shit like this happen after the club every weekend as a bouncer. You know what I mean? Like leaving out of the damn brewery or leaving out of the damn bar. You know, dude and chick getting in the Uber, fighting over a phone. You know what I mean?
Damn. That's plain. Now let me show y'all this. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.